An ongoing war has taken over the internet by storm. The war between knights and gnomes. What was once a harmless TikTok has now morphed into a global conflict. Millions of people have enlisted to fight each other, betray their own teams, and terrorize mall employees. But why? Why is all of this happening? What do mall employees have to do with this? Why did the knights and gnomes turn against each other, and how did this whole thing even begin? To get to the bottom of things, I took a leap into the depths of gnome talk just to try to find an answer to all of my questions. There was a lot more to this trend than I initially thought. So let's go ahead and start at the beginning. As with every major conflict in history, it all begins with one person, Crawly. Now, you may be wondering, why is this guy called Crawly? Well, thank you so much for asking, and it's actually a pretty simple answer. Kind of like how a kid might name their first pet Doggy or Fishy, Crawly got his name because in his first TikToks in 2023, he crawled everywhere. On the ground in public? Oh, that's disgusting. And on the public train too? Dude, come on, do you have any idea how dirty that is? Since his appearance in 2023, his whole thing basically became public internet stunts. How original, right? Oh. Oh, okay, that's actually pretty original. Sorry about the cynicism. Crawly continued to do a lot of these public stunts until June of 2024, where he would go on to change the internet forever with one simple video. Donning a green cloak, white hat, facial hair, and a pink wand? I think that's what that is, at least. Crawly became the Wizard Gnome and had unknowingly set a cascade of events in motion, as well as accidentally start the gnome saga of the internet. The videos of him messing with mall employees went absolutely viral. Seeing a gnome be a brief nuisance, wave a wand at people to give them the gnomish blessing, obviously, and make gnome noises the whole time was actually pretty entertaining, I'm not gonna lie. But Crawly had made a severe mistake. See, in all of his viral TikToks, he referred to the mall employees and security guards as knights, saying things like crap. Sorry, I forgot to translate it from Polish. Give me a second. Stupid knights will never catch Crawly, or taught the stupid knight a lesson. Because Crawly was still new to the mortal realm of humans, he had unintentionally called the employees knights, when they were in fact not. And the real knights took note of that. This is so dumb, dude. This was only worsened by how viral Crawly's videos were going, as it inspired more gnomes to unintentionally misinterpret who the knights were. Gnome TikTok started to appear on people's For You pages around the world, featuring gnomes appearing in public, POVs of gnomes scouting ahead for knights, wandering the woods, looking for traps, and countless other things. Even rock climbing. That's actually really impressive. Knights were now getting called out by the masses, all because Crawly just kept going more and more viral. I mean, look at this. 100 million views on one TikTok. More eyes than ever were on the gnomes, including the real knights. And this is where things started to ramp up even more. Because while some of us have skeletons in our closet, no skeletons here, just a bunch of flannels. Other people have knight armor. No knight armor here either, just a lot of shirts. The knights of TikTok finally came out of their castles to respond to the gnomes, and they were not happy. What started out as montages of knights walking menacingly and even working out quickly turned into threats and outright violence against the gnomes. Even worse, the knights had a king now. A vicious knight by the name of Emilio had appointed himself as king of the knights and only encouraged the violence against the gnomes.
If you're with me, if you're with King Emilio, take arms against the gnomes. We must fight. We must stand together and defeat the gnomes.
Knights were now attacking gnomes at any chance they got. Traps were laid, ambushes were plotted, and gnomes were taken prisoner. Things were looking dire, and it seemed war was on the horizon. The gnomes quickly came together, and with the news of Knight Emilio appointing himself as king, the gnomes decided to appoint Crawley as their king. In a brave and utterly astounding move from King Crawley, he attempted to share the news of his appointment as king by entering his local H&M, but oh god, you just have to see for yourself. This footage is harrowing. That's so dumb. Oh shit. A knight disguised as a security guard had blocked King Crawley. How dare the knights stoop this low? This was an outrage amongst the gnomes and led to the official declaration of war. A comment that told King Crawley to bring an army of gnomes to show his dominance. To which he said, "Will do." Chaos had broken out. The war only got bigger and bigger with each passing day. Everyone's For You page was filled with content about the Gnome War. People across TikTok were picking sides, claiming allegiances, and wondering what the hell was going on. The war was spreading into everyday lives. But then, something completely unexpected happened. iShowSpeed, one of the biggest content creators in the world, happened to be streaming in Poland, where King Crawley is from, and the two came across each other live on stream.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
This event only brought more attention to the already massive war that was consuming the internet. Now, with the conflict beginning to reach its peak, an official date was set for a battle that would decide the winner of the war and finally put an end to this despicable era of history. The 4th of July. Hell yeah, brother. God bless the Gnome. Hoorah! That is so dumb. That is the dumbest thing I've done. Things only kept picking up as July 4th got closer and closer. In addition to people enlisting in the Knight and Gnome causes, so too did wizards and elves and dwarves and everything else imaginable. Mermaids, nymphs, forest spirits, fairies, trolls, vampires, hill giants, Vikings, halflings, samurai, the Mothman, dragons, the financiers. Wait, what? The gnomes had gun runners. Oh my god, this is insane. This is insane. This is absurd. Literally everyone and everything was picking a side in the war. Not only that, but betrayals and contradictions were happening everywhere. One wizard council would side with the gnomes, and another group of wizards would side with the knights. Some of the knights were even beginning to turn against King Emilio. It was mass confusion everywhere. Things only got more and more intense until the day of the final battle. July 4th had finally arrived. Both sides had been preparing for this. It was finally time to decide the winner of the Gnome War and... Wait, where's the footage? Well, there isn't any. What? Well, technically there's one, but I didn't think it fit. Dude, we need something. Just put it on screen. Okay, whatever you say. So, this is the only TikTok of the actual battle. Everything else surrounding the Gnome War is either preparation for the war or returning home from the war. There's no actual TikToks of the battle. It was basically one big finale that we never got to see, which is really disappointing. But to be fair, what the hell was it gonna look like anyways? Was it gonna be like Braveheart edits or just like massive battles in a mall? I don't know. I don't know. On a brighter side though, this wasn't actually the final battle, despite all the buildup we just had. After July 4th, even more people hopped on the trend and continued to pick sides, even though the war was technically over. The trend kept going strong and actually reached its peak about a week after the final battle. Only recently did it begin to fall off. Oddly enough, around the same time that major brands like DayZ, Barnes & Noble, and even Halo got involved. The power that brands have to ruin fun things by simply showing up is astounding. People eventually started calling for a peace treaty between knights and gnomes. Almost everyone agreed peace was better than endless conflict. Almost. See, both King Emilio and King Crawley have continued to post videos, with Emilio attempting to continue to encourage the violence against the gnomes, only ending up with a bunch of knights turning away from him in favor of the gnomes and fighting their true enemy. Whatever that true enemy is, I have no idea. King Crawley, on the other hand, is still making viral TikToks at his mall that he somehow hasn't been banned from yet. He's still fighting remnants of the knights, and even started making TikToks with the musician Oliver Tree after appearing on stage at one of his concerts. Crawley even declared him Prince of the Gnomes. For the most part though, the battle between knights, gnomes, and everything else imaginable pretty much unanimously resulted in victory for the gnomes and peace for everyone. Hooray! So, all jokes aside, why did this trend get as big as it did? Well, I have a few ideas on the whole thing. Firstly, this war was completely harmless. Literally, as far as I know, no one was harmed. Except for Crawley, the one time security grabbed him pretty aggressively. Secondly, I feel like a fun trend like this has just been needed. It almost feels like everything everywhere is just so serious. The whole idea of seeing gnomes storm into stores is just so silly and absurd, regardless of language. Pair that with hopping on the internet and seeing a massive fantasy war that you can take part in for no other reason than fun is kinda awesome. It was like one big game of Dungeons and Dragons that anyone could join. That's actually pretty dope. More than anything, I feel like people around the world just need to laugh at something dumb that literally had no ulterior motives behind it. I mean, with the amount of people that got as heavily involved as they did, I think that alone proves my point. Something like this is probably never gonna happen again, and I'm okay with that. That's what makes trends like this, and to an extent life in general, special. The fact that you only get to experience it once. If you enjoyed this video, you'd probably really enjoy this one too. Hey, and just for the record, I was on the side of the gnomes the whole time, okay? I'm 5'6". I'm basically already a gnome. That's not a lie either. I really am that short.